Teen childbearing costs Texas taxpayers more than $1 billion every year. But it's not just about the financial cost. As you will see tonight, teen pregnancy also brings many challenges to teen mothers and their babies. Bernie Vega found out she was pregnant with her daughter Catalina in the fall of her senior year at Edinburgh North. Becoming a mom in her teens was never something Bernie thought would happen to her.
I didn't know that I could actually be pregnant because I just thought I never could have kids, and I don't know why. That I was invincible.
Bernie had big dreams, but her plans for the future had to change.
I wanted to do the whole marching band thing, and I wanted to do the college thing where you go to school and then you go to work and then you just hang out with your friends and have study groups. And when I found out I was pregnant, I kind of felt sad because I was like, I'm not going to be able to go to veterinarian school.
Just a kid herself, Bernie quickly learned what it meant to be a parent. Unable to afford children, teen moms have to rely on family and taxpayer-funded programs. In 2010, teen childbearing cost U.S. taxpayers $9.4 billion and more than $1.1 billion in Texas alone. Those costs include welfare assistance, public health, and lost tax revenue. Between 1991 and 2010, there have been more than 1 million teen births in Texas, costing taxpayers a total of $24.3 billion over that same period. UTPA sociology professor Dr. Guangzhen Wang has studied women's health across the world and says teen pregnancy is not just about the money,
but also the opportunity cost and financial cost and the mental cost and psychological cost to teen mothers.
That cost would be much higher if it weren't for the 43% decline in Texas teen births over the past 2 decades. In spite of the decline, Texas still has the 3rd highest teen pregnancy rate in the country. Texas Department of Health figures show there were 16.5 births for every 1,000 girls from 13 to 17 years old in 2012. In the Rio Grande Valley, every county had higher rates than the state average, some nearly double. The Rio Grande Valley is mostly Hispanic, and Hispanics have the highest birth rate than any other race, with 46.3 births for every 1,000 teens. Nearly a quarter of Hispanic women will become mothers before their 20th birthday. While teen pregnancy rates are declining, more teens admit they are sexually active. A recent survey shows just over half of Texas high school students report they have had sex.
Teens are having more sex, but they're using contraceptives.
Fortunately, 80% of teens who said they have had sex said they used contraceptives. Hidalgo County Planned Parenthood CEO Patricio Gonzalez says it's because more teens are gaining access to birth control and sex education.
Once they have that information, good, accurate information, teens tend to make very good, responsible choices.
While educating teens about sex will help limit teen pregnancies, completing education is one of the biggest hurdles an unplanned baby brings its mother.
They are more likely to drop out from school. What kind of financial foundations they have to support their children?
Teen moms and their children are more likely to live in poverty and have poor health.
They're more likely to become obese later in their life.
So when do you start talking about sex?
The earlier, the better.
When the child starts to inquire or ask questions, I believe parents should start answering those questions using the best information they can get or their own experience. But I believe parents need to start early on because young kids are being exposed to all of that at a very young age.
If parents don't answer their kids' questions, most have internet access even on their phones, but you may not like the answer they find. If teens aren't educated and end up with an unplanned pregnancy, about a quarter of them will end their pregnancy with abortion. Gonzalez says lowering unplanned pregnancies is key to lowering abortion rates.
The best way to end abortions is to have people have access to contraceptives, information, and education, and that goes for teens.
While Bernie loves her daughter very much, her advice for teens is to wait to start a family.
Just wait a little bit. Now have some fun first. You don't want to get tied down too quickly.
As parents, there is a lot you can do to educate your children on sex. I posted a few resources on ValleyCentral.com. And one last piece of advice Dr. Wang tells me is keep your kids involved in extracurricular activities. Those who are less likely to become pregnant. In the studio, Grande, Action 4 News.